hazards too. So if this sort of operation occurs in any your presence, or if you are the part of this operation, you must be aware of all of the safety procedure that you have to follow. So guys, किसी को doubt है safety procedures in regards of personal transfer with the help of bucket? If no, then I will start another topic, that is mooring. Silence means I don't think.
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, fine. So guys, you might heard the word mooring and the mooring operation.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the basic purpose of the mooring lines is to bring vessel at the berth and to manage or to manage to hold a vessel position. So this is the medium, and the medium is mooring lines. Mooring lines provides you the way by which you can hold your vessel alongside, and even at the later stage, with the help of this line, you can bring your vessel towards a desired place. So when you are at the port, these lines are only the major means by which you're holding your position. Now, we know this is the important job to come alongside and to stay alongside. Unless and until that, you're not able to carry out a cargo operation or the other few operations too. So, mooring lines will help you in this. Now, we have to understand what are the different hazards or the risk associated when we are about to perform this mooring operation. So you might be cadet, you may be a junior officer later on, and then after you may be a senior officer too. But at each and every stage, you will be involved in mooring operation. So yes, your role may change, but yes, you will be involved in mooring operation altogether. So that all of you must understand the seriousness and the importance of the mooring operation. Generally, there are two stations, forward station and aft station. You might be appointed forward or aft, anywhere it may be, but the general operation and the general safety remains the same. And the objective also the same. We have to bring our vessel alongside and we have to hold that position until we done with our particular job or particular operation. So guys, if you can see within my picture, this is a forecastle store. You can see there are few benches. Here you might be performing a mooring operation. Over here also you can see
The screen is not visible.
screen is not visible. How is it?
Yes, sir, it's not visible.
You can't see me?
So the
Sir, you
screen.
are visible, but this shared screen is not visible.
I'm not sharing anything. I'm just showing the background of my own picture only.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So fine. Let's start with the mooring operation. What are the safety precautions that we have to take if you are obliged to do such sort of job? Yes. Mooring operation, it must be handled by a competent team. It's not a single job. It's not a one-man army who can carry out this operation. We want our teammates, and the individual must be well efficient to carry out that job. So for the mooring operation, we must have a sufficient number of crew along with the responsible officer. So what a responsible officer do here? He's well experienced officer who is conveying message to the all crew, the instructions that he's receiving from the head of the department. That head of the department may be a pilot or maybe from the master. So there may be one of the responsible officer that may be standing at forward or at aft with the other crew. Suppose your third officer or second officer, you may be standing forward or at the aft station, and you may be controlling that mooring station. So yes, you are the responsible officer for that scenario, and he has to take care of that situation. He must be instructing them how the work to be done and what are the uh, hazards consequences may arise during the actual practical work. So yes, responsible officer must be always there to have supervision, to understand what are the problem these guys are facing, and he has to convey that all the information to the head of department. So he is the middleman who is contributing the work, and he is responsible for that particular operation at this stage. He might be working forward or he might be working at the aft station. We have to understand the time limit. As you might heard, I would like to tell you, we are passing few lines, and that few lines not limited to 4 or 5, it may extend to 10 lines too. So whenever we're passing a line or whenever we are bringing that line on board, we require some sort of time. We want some time in our hand. Then and then only we can do that operation. So as a mooring team, as a part of that team, you have to understand there is a time delay and you have to attend each operation for certain time. You can't say that at one go I will achieve every lines to pass within that single minute or within that 5-10 minute. No, for each line and for each operation, you have to wait, you have to confirm, and then only you can start with the other things around. So this process is time consuming, and each moment is precious too. So yes, when you are at the mooring station, you have to see for the time and the moment too. There might be a moment where you will see there is an excessive stress on those mooring lines. There may be a situation, there may be a time when you will feel to stand in the front of this line or stand over this position is not safe. Yes, you have to get away from that position as there will be extensive pressure, extensive stress on that line. So you have to keep checking the scenario. You have to monitor the operation continuously and with due diligence. Suitable planning and supervision. Yes, before starting a job, usually what we do, we will call all of the teammates. The responsible officer will be there, and responsible officer must be instructed by the head of the department that okay, we are going to conduct this sort of operation, and this is my requirement. So the instructions are clear for the responsible officer. Now the responsible officer will call his duty mates, his teammates, and he will discuss, okay, we are going alongside at that side or over that side, and we have to pass these many lines. This is the instruction, this is a plan, and we have to stick along this plan. If anything goes wrong, he has to detect, he has to report to the head of the department. So yes, work must be planned, and that work must be supervised whether it is going in the same accordance with the plan or not. And if anything goes wrong, it is the duty of the responsible officer to manage that work by which they will come within the plan, and they must carry out this work safely and soundly. Now, proper communication. Always we seen a lot many works and different procedures to carry out different works. Everywhere we seen proper communication is there. You may be involved in painting job, you may be involved in enclosed space entry. So we seen different sort of job, but one thing is common: proper communication. So yes, here also, if you are at the mooring station and if you have any concern, then you have to speak. You have to convey that problem. You have to tell the responsible about the situation, and if you are the responsible officer, then it's your duty to pass each and every message to the head of the department so that he'll be aware what's going on. I like to tell you that the guys who are working at the station, they are the main leader. Even they might be crew or a junior officer, but they are handling that situation. The guy who is standing over the bridge as a master or the pilot, they are not there to carry that work out. You are there. So you have to check for your safety. You have to check for your own things. And if anything goes wrong or anything bothers you, you have to convey them by which we can take alternative means to avoid any further hazards or risk. Guys, all of you are following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Competency of person. So yes, at each and every stage on board, you will be checked with your competency. So particularly for the mooring station, the guys who are involved, they must be properly trained. They must have somewhat knowledge about the equipment, about the tackles and the aids that we may be using during the operation. So when you are attending the mooring station, you must know some of the basic background, some of the basic things by which you can safely complete that mooring operation. So guys, this is a time where you can learn those things. Don't expect कि जहाज पे जाके हमें सीख जाएंगे. This is a time where you are supposed to learn all of those practices and all of those skills on board. I'm telling you, each and every department and each and every person on board, they are so busy, they're hardly getting somewhat time for teaching and for training. Yes, we have some trainings and drills too, but if you want to have an individual attendance and attentiveness, it will be not there. So best part is what we have: plenty of things here. We have the model ship. You can see all the things what I'm discussing here. They are actually there. You can see them, you can feel them, and you can use the techniques or the skill what I said. So if you go on board, you must feel confident, and you must be thorough about your duties and about your job. Yes, at the earliest stage guys are there who will guide you, but ऐसे ही नहीं सोचने का कि यही हमें सब कुछ गाइड करते रहेंगे. ठीक है. So the guys who are involved for the mooring station, they must be well competent, they must know about their job, and if anyone is found lacking in their competency or over the job, we can replace that person, or we can give him some other job rather than the important job in the mooring station. So the next point, sufficient member. Yes, I already told this about, we must have a sufficient numbers, and those numbers or the teammate must be brief about the work plan and with the general instructions that we have to follow during the mooring operation. Now, these are the basic things that we looked after. We must have team, there must be a briefing, then we must have proper PP, communication must be there, people must be well trained, competent, all that. These are the basic thing. But rather than this, we have to see about the equipments, about the gears that we are using during the operation. These guys must be capable of using all of these gears, like mooring winches are there, drums are there, then we may be throwing heaving lines, we have to tie the lines in the proper way, we have to do somewhat, we have to use the stoppers too. So these guys must be well competent to perform this sort of the job. Now the things what I said, all of these things must be done at your end. There are few things which are reliable over the shore guys too. So the shore guys, they may be using some sort of the equipment, some sort of the lines. So we have to link ourselves with them, in which manner they have to carry this work. We have to check, and that is being done by the responsible officer who is standing with you at the particular station. So he will see what the show guys wants to do, if they want to pass all of the lines at one go, or they want to pass individual line at one go, where they want to place that line where they have to release that line. So he'll be the person who will be engaged with the show guys, and according to that you may be performing your job, right? Later on there may be a severe weather conditions when you are at the operation. So severe weather condition means what? There might be heavy rain, or you may feel very hot. There might be a complete sunny day when you might be engaged for the mooring operation. Or you may be in the snow and the atmosphere may be very chilled, but you have to perform the mooring station. There is no relaxation, guys, when you find this sort of weather change around. You have to bring your vessel alongside. What may be the case? Let it rain, let it heat, or let it snow. Whatsoever the case, you have to bring your vessel alongside, and once you started your operation, if you obscured by one of these factor, You can't get rid of it unless and until you complete your job. So yes, guys, you have to prepare yourself. You must be mentally strong too. Many of the times we see during heavy rain, during a snowfall, also we did this mooring operation. You must be knowing there might be a rain or there may be a uh, suspicion that there is a snowfall too. So if you suspect, then keep yourself ready. Don your require warm clothes or the rain sheltering gears, and you have to be present for the mooring station. Yes, let me hear something from your end too. Just now we saw basic safety procedures or precautions that we have to take when we are engaged in mooring operation. So guys, tell me one by one. अभी डिस्कस किया था.
Sir, it must be handled by a sufficient number of crew along with a responsible officer.
Okay, good. One by one. Yes, Reno. Sarthak Sinha, is he here? Sarthak. Fine. Divanshu Sharma, are you there? Divanshu, are you there? Sahil, 77. 77 Sahil. सारे लोगों ने बस लॉगिन करके छोड़ा हुआ है. हाँ, पारस 44. I hope all of you can read me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
जिसको मैं बुला रहा हूँ, they are not there. ठीक है. पारस 44. Fine. Qureshi 49.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What you can say? What are the extra precautions or the normal precaution we have to take if you want to go for the mooring station?
Sir, first of all, we should wear a proper PPE and
Proper PPE, that's all.
we should operate with a responsible person in the mooring station. It can be performed by the junior officer, maybe second officer or third officer in the forward or aft mooring station.
Okay. Yuraj, 80. Can you add something more? 80.
No, sir, I also know that much.
You also know that much only. Good. इधर भी कॉपी करोगे आप लोग?
Communication.
And sir, we should be alert about the timings in the berthing at the time of birth.
Sir, we should check all the mooring equipments as they are fit for the purpose.
So last part, during a mooring station, we have to see few things. We should restrict unwanted person who are just wandering around the station. We should not allow extra unnecessary members who are just having fun around. So if you are the designated person to work over there, then you must know the required teammates and your required strength. If the other guys are just coming over there to see how the show looks like or what you're doing actually over there, you have to restrict them. You have to say them, okay, bye bye. Once the job has been done, you can come here, you can see the show is here, she will be here, and even the show guys or the show participants will be here only. So you had to avoid unwanted persons coming across you during the operation, as they might be not aware with the hazards and with the risk too. So simple thing, we can just restrict them to come over there. We must know about the snapback zone and the rope bite. ये प्रीतम मुझे होस्ट बना देना, आई वांट टू शेयर समथिंग. 048 प्रीतम. So all of you can be able to see
Yes, sir.
this is an area which been marked with the red color. Now the line will be laid in this direction, and this area projects you or indicates you this may be the harmful area. If you come along this area, and if there is any disturbance or miscarriage within this line, then the impact will be coming across this zone. If this line only get aparted, if this line only break into two, then the impact of line may come across this area. So same as of that, if this line is being passed in this direction with the help of this bollard, then if this line apart into, the impact of line may come across this area. So initially the snapback zone was marked accordance of the line and accordance with the area, a concentrated or a fixed area where we may face somewhat effect of that broken or a damaged line. But as per the new regulation, as per the new convention, snapback zone is not limited area. The snapback zone is considered a complete mooring station. Earlier, it was only a concentrated part of that mooring station. Suppose it may be one corner of forward station, it may be other corner of the aft station. But now the snapback zone is considered as that complete mooring area. So once you step on the mooring station, it might be forward or aft. That area is considered as a snapback zone. So unless and until the operation is over, you are working in a risky area. There may be a hazard by which you may get injuries when the rope is aparted or when the required rope will not handle is not handled in the proper way, then there might be an impact, and that impacted area is not now extended over the complete mooring station. When we are laying a mooring line or when we are picking up a mooring line from the wharf, that line will be laid on your deck, and you have to be very much clear as you're not standing on that line. You must not stand on that bit. So these are the common precautions or the common measures that we have to look after. We are using few of the mooring equipment I said, as you may be using a warping drum, winches, and few of the other devices too. So before starting the operation, you must have to check all of this equipment prior. By that, you will become to a decision whether this work equipments are proper or not, will they work efficiently or not. So you must check all of this equipment prior starting the job. Sometime when you are working at cold, you have to do uh, you have to give somewhat time to warm that equipment. So you have to keep that equipment running for a while to provide the warm up time, and later on only that equipment will work efficiently. So as per the condition, you have to check how to use that equipment. You can refer maker's manual, and even the guys who are the part of your team, they must be well aware how to use that equipment and how to deal in the case of emergency. Now we might be involved where we might be handling multiple lines at a time, but if you handle a one line at instance, then we can say there might be a less chance where injuries or accident may occur. So it is not black and white, or it's not enforced that we have to use one line at one go, but it is recommended to tend with one line at a go, by which you can control the situation. All of you must be observing that one line at that instance, and any misleading or any malpractices will be addressed as you are just concentrating on one line. So yes, you can do this to avoid any risk or the hazards around. Each line has a certain load capacity. So the every line has their own self-working load, and it been tested too before bringing them on board. So when you are using that line, you have to check whether that mooring line is having a less tension or less stress than her safe working load. Visually, at first instance, you will not able to know, but our mooring equipment has that limiting measurement by which you can conclude whether we are extending that load or not. So the experienced guy in your team, they must be well aware how to judge whether we are extending that load or not. So once you board a vessel, you have to check all of these limits and all of these operational things, by which you will be much familiar and confident when the situation arises. Continuous monitoring must be there. If you pass one line, still you may be left with a few lines to pass. So if you pass one line, or if you picked one line from a shore, still few lines are there for them you might be waiting for. So unless and until you're holding your position, or you might be at the right position, you have to check with the other lines, and then only you can leave that station, you can leave that place. So जब तक आपका वो स्टेशन का काम होता नहीं है, you can't say all is all being is done and everything is perfect. You have to check operation continuously, and monitoring must be much vigilant, because any minor mistake may can lead to a disaster. When we are arranging mooring lines, be careful about the symmetry, and we have to check with our plan too. So we might be passing a line in different direction. So when you're laying or when you're picking up those lines, you have to arrange them or pick them in that order only. So guys, hope all of you understood the basic safety procedures or the instructions that we have to follow if you're involved in any sort of the mooring operation. Any doubts? Okay.
No, sir.
Tushar,
Yes, sir.
absentees. In between, I asked for the few guys जिसने रिप्लाई नहीं दिया, आई एम मार्किंग इन absent. ठीक है तुषार, टेल मी और कुछ rather than which I had noted earlier.
All present, sir.
All present. I mark for the guys who I asked you earlier, 54, 59, 77 and 44. I'm marking them absent और इनको मैं अभी मार्क भी करके रख रहा हूँ. Let's see what they are doing in next few lectures too. ठीक है, चलो guys, see you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.